Okay, so today we've got our laptop turned on, the CAD software, the ETMM toolbar, and the 3D Disto software is on. Everything's connected. 3D Disto is also on, leveled, and the bubbles within the circle. You could also do this with an S910. In either case, you just need to have 3D in your system. Right here, we have marked out the opening for the stairway, and we're going to measure that up against these walls and against these other features in the room. We're going to put these couple of doors on it, and over here you can't quite see them yet, but we'll get them later. We're going to have a couple of cabinet ends, so we're going to make sure that there's clearance and room for everything for whoever designs our stairs for us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set an x-axis, and because the stairs are right here dropping underneath this, I'm just going to make this my x-axis so I can see it kind of the way I'm looking at it now. So I'm in the x-axis tool, select 2 points, and we're always going to do that left to right. I'm going to take my laser here, 1 point on the left, 1 point on the right. So now we had a construction plane that was, when the laser leveled, it created a construction plane that's at its eye level, parallel with the floor. And we're going to take that construction plane and we're going to drop it all the way to the floor so that we can extrude the room up. So to drop it to the floor, we're going to use this tool. Right click that. I'm going to go to parallel. So I'm just moving it parallel. Select a point to lie on it, and I want this to drop on the floor. Okay, so it says the plane was created, and we know we just shot it on the floor, so that's where it was created. And next, I'm going to do the perimeter of this room, so I'm going to go to my line tool. And the perimeter that we create is going to lay itself down on the floor, where if we hadn't dropped it to the floor, the perimeter would be created at its eye level. And then when we go to extrude it, it would be the wrong depth and the wrong height. So you got to drop that construction plane to the floor first. And now it's pretty simple. We're just going to create some lines to give us an outline of this room. See the room beginning to take shape. Because I have some cabinets over here, I don't probably need this run of wall, but you know, if I had to come back and do it again, I'd be unhappy. So I'm just going to put it in there. Okay, so what we've got now on our drawing is a bit of an outline of the floor. I don't really have where this line ends. I don't think that I'm going to need to, unless they decide they want to take and turn that corner with the stairway. So I better get that information too. So I'm just going to go over here and create some more lines. So this is the wall where the front door is. And there's only a short section. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a lot of glass here and window. So I'm going to come along this wall now. Okay, I'm going to do a little piece of this wall just to get the end of it. All right. So next I'm going to trim this room layout in. In fact, let me get a little tail on the other side as well. There's my laser beam. By putting that last little bit of a wall on my drawing, I have the exact length of that wall. So by putting this little section right here and this little section right here, I know how long this wall is from point to point. So let's go ahead and trim it up. And for this, we're going to use the Smart Trim Both. And it just tries to anticipate what you want to do. It's great for doing perimeters. Okay, so we're all trimmed up now. Put it into an isometric view. I'm going to use this little drop-down box. I'm going to go to isometric view. And then to get my ceiling height, I'm going to use my Z-depth tool. The Z-depth is going to give me the height difference from my current construction plane, which is on the floor, to wherever I shoot above it. In this case, it'll be the ceiling. And it's 106.872 inches up there. Now we're going to go ahead and extrude it. I'm going to use this tool to extrude it. I'm going to extrude this floor plan that I've created, all of it. I'm going to accept it. I want one copy. I'm not going to change the X and the Y. I just want to change the Z depth. And I'm going to right click and paste in there. And I'm going to hit enter. And there's our three-dimensional room. Let's bring everything into view. Now, I want to get some of the features on these. I know that this is a door, and I can just put a label there, so let's do that. Just put a note, and front door. We'll just stick that right there so we know where that is. There is a doorway. So here's my room. I'm going to put this doorway in and these two doorways in first. To do that, I'm just going to use the rectangle tool. I'm going to shoot opposite corners. But before I do, I'm going to move my construction plane, first of all, to this wall, which has our first door in it. That would be this wall. So I'm going to move my construction plane there, and I do that with this tool. I want to go between here and here. And now if you wanted to check that, because on the wireframe sometimes it gets a little confusing. There is my construction plane on this wall. Okay, just so I can see it a little better. There we go. I'm going to shoot that door, and I'm going to use opposite corners. I'll shoot the first one. I'm not sure if you can see the beam on the wall, but I'm at the top left corner. And then that was that right here, and now I'm going to shoot down here. So I've got that wall, that doorway placed. I'm going to go to the next wall. Let's get this back to basic isometric view so I can figure out where I am. Yeah, I'm going to go to this wall now. So I'm going to use this and this to move my construction plane. And just because I'm a nervous Nelly, I always want to make sure I got it. Yep, I got it right. And let's see if we can push this back a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to add two doors onto this. Same kind of a deal. I'm going to use that rectangle tool, which I'm still in. And I'm just collecting this data to make sure that there's proper clearances. Obviously, the stair guy isn't going to do anything with the wall. Okay, there's one door. And there's the other door. Okay, and now I've got a cabinet. Let me show you these cabinets here that I'm going to get the end of. Well, you can see one of them right here. Yeah, there we go. So you can see these two ends here. Move my construction plane from here to here. It puts it on the floor, and I'm just going to get the outline of those two using my line tool this time. So I'm going to get one line with it coming out, one line with it going across. Move this out of the way. I'm going to do the other piece that's sticking out into the room. And again, I'm not worried about putting a countertop on it. I'm just worrying about identifying where it is in space. So here's my two cabinets in the kitchen. Use our smart trim tool one more time. Let's trim that up right there. Trim that up right there. So here's my two countertops, and I could extrude those up. So I'm going to get a Z depth here to the top of that cabinet. There we go. Finally got it. Okay, so now I want to extrude again. Not all displayed. Window. I'm going to extrude this, plus that, plus this, plus that. I'll accept that. I want one copy. No changes to the X and Y. On the Z, I'm going to go up. These are 32s. I'm just going to put 32 in there and hit enter. And there's my cabinets kind of sticking up just to stay with the 3D theme. I'm going to go back to my straight isometric view. Here's my two cabinets. Here's my door. Here's these two doors that were over there on the side of the wall. So now we basically have the perimeter extruded up and the main features that might possibly be necessary for whoever's doing the stairway. Now I've got to cut that opening in the ceiling for them. So to get to the opening in the ceiling, it's going along these two. So I'm going to put this construction plane from here to here. And I'm going to have to rotate it to see that I did it, but I did it. Right in here is where we're going to put that cutout for this in the ceiling. So I'm going to go to my line tool once again, and I'm going to shoot on that ceiling. I'm going to shoot where this piece is, and that connecting wall. I'm going to shoot where this piece almost goes to. I'm going to shoot along this wall from here out to this point, which is pre-marked. Shooting that point. And I'm going to shoot that point again. Okay, so if we look at our 3D model now, here's the opening. We've got a 108 by 42.1. That's going to be our opening for the stairway. So now whoever's going to build this stairway for us has all the information they need to create it, except for maybe one thing. There's my floor opening and ceiling. It would be nice for them to know how flat this floor is down here. So I'm going to move my construction plane once again to the floor so I can do floor flatness. Now I'm going to just spin it a little bit and make sure that I've dropped it to the floor, and you can see the little gray parts on the floor. And now in the area along here and along here, I'm going to create some patterns so that if he does bring that stairway out and over, or if he just brings it straight down, that where it lands, he'll know how flat the floor is. Yeah, we're in floor flatness mode. So I'm going to shoot some. Okay, there's a few over there. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to do a few. Again, if you were to come in and go over this way, I'll get him some floor flatness over here. Floor flatness. And you can see what's going on the floor. Let me just show you. So I'm shooting. I shot a bunch of points over here. And now I'm shooting some points over here. Let me just go back into here. Show my first one there. Okay, enter on that. Put that in focus. So now what I've got is I've got these compared to themselves. And I can see this is 0, and this is a 16th. So it's a little bit, the floor slides a little bit that way there. Let's come back out. Let's look over here. Over here we've got, again, it's not too bad a floor. It's 0 there, and an 8th and a 16th pretty much along here. So this is the information that the stair company is going to need in order to build your staircase for this customer. Here's the doors that we measured. Here's the walls. And here's our opening in the ceiling.